Meanwhile, President Trump making his 500th day in office with naturally another tweet. Quote, "This is my 500th day in office, and we have accomplished a lot. Many people believe more than any president in his first 500 days. Massive tax and regulation cuts, military and vets, lower crime and illegal immigration, stronger borders, judgeships, best economy and jobs ever, and much more." But is this really the best first 500 days in 228 years of U.S. presidents? Here now is Madison Gesiotto, Trump Campaign Advisory Board member. 228 years is a long time, Madison. I'm willing to grant you, let's forget that for a minute. Let's leave out George Washington. But I'm willing to say that I cannot remember an economic revival as strong as this one, at least since Ronald Reagan. And that was a pretty big turnaround.
You know, and I would bet that this is bigger than that. And I'd say I would agree with President Trump that this may be the best we've ever seen. I mean, we were coming back from horrific numbers. This is a huge turnaround. When we look at the economy, we look at the lowest unemployment numbers we've seen in almost 20 years. We look at consumer confidence at an all-time high. We're looking at all-time lows for certain groups of unemployment in this country. It's incredible. And of course, with the tax cuts going along with that.
Well, we put together a list of the main issues that I think had a lot to do with boosting the internal confidence, the confidence not only of the consumer, but of course also Wall Street. It's great when the economy and Wall Street think alike, but tax cuts, deregulation, trade, foreign policy, and legal issues. Let's start with deregulation, because the president was able to do that on his own. You don't put in a new regulation unless you get rid of 22 along the way. He also deregulated the energy industry like we haven't seen in a long time. ANWR now allows for drilling. There's fracking concerns. That was amazingly important in terms of getting the market going.
Absolutely. And when it comes to deregulation, what people don't realize is that when Obama left office, there was almost 100,000 pages of regulation in the Federal Register. In his first year, President Trump dropped that down to under 62,000. That's almost half that were cut, because as you know, and I know, and so many people watching this know, it kills small businesses in this country. As a small business owner myself, I was extremely excited when he did this.
It hamstrung a lot of small businesses, and it was a turnaround. If Hillary had been elected, businesses were expecting even more regulations.
We might have been at 150,000 pages with Hillary in office.
Yeah, well, at the very least, we've gotten rid of 22 for every new regulation. I mean, that's just unheard of. Then we had the tax cuts, and I mean, that was a follow-through of a promise. A lot of people did not think he was going to make it, but he did it just at the end of 2017. But we haven't had quite as much of a drop for individuals as a lot of people were hoping for. Do you think we're going to get phase two anytime soon?
You know, I think we will see phase two, but the one thing that's not even reflected in the plan itself is, of course, the businesses that have reinvested in their workers as a result of this. So not only have they received lower taxes on the individual level, but they're receiving bonuses. Millions of people have received bonuses. And then, as you know, Walmart came out last week saying for $1 a day, they will pay for education for their workers, which is incredible. And
then we had the deduction of repatriation of foreign capital. There's a couple of trillion abroad that might come back to be invested here. And of course, immediate expensing for businesses. As a small business owner, you realize how important that is. We only have a minute, but I got to focus on trade for a second, because that gave the market a lot of jitters. It kind of created a ceiling that about 25,000 for the Dow that we couldn't break through because of concerns about trade. It seems that those concerns are easing a little, even though we haven't come to many agreements.
Yes, they are. President Trump and his administration have been able to bring back free, fair, and reciprocal trade to the United States. We are a leader in the global economy now, and I think it's going to continue to improve when it comes to stock markets.
Are you concerned, though, at all, as I am, that the prices for consumers may cause a pull down in some of those retail sales? Because you know, trade, it is a tax when you're imposing a tariff, and we just imposed tariffs on Europe and Mexico and Canada. If it is a tax that the consumer is going to end up paying, and that could slow down the economy a bit, does that concern you?
Well, I think we're going to continue to see more manufacturing in the United States, so I don't think it's going to be a concern that's really going to hurt people long term.
And then there is foreign policy. We only have 20 seconds on this, but you think of North Korea, you think of what's happened in the Middle East. There's so many things. A lot of people did not think this president was going to stand out for foreign policy, but he really is in so many different ways.
They said he could never do the things he's doing. Even 3 months ago, they said he would never have talks with Kim Jong-un in North Korea. Look at what's happening. They said he would start a nuclear war. I think he's playing a part in ending the chance of one ever happening.
It's quite a 500 days. Madison, thank you very much for being here. Good to see you again.
Thank you. Great to see you.